Ryan, we only have 5 hours. Oh, we already did that joke.
Yeah, we can't do the same joke every week, Steve. And that's how podcasts work, though. Just people doing the same jokes every week. Welcome to podcasts.
Hum, 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 hum.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast. Here's some ads. All right, Ryan.
Those were Steve does that for the audio
for
stream
the audio
ads.
people.
Yeah, for the audio people. There were no ads there for the video people.
The video people are gonna be like, "What just happened?"
And who knows? Maybe Steve will turn off those ads someday. So we've hard baked in a thing now that we don't need to be there.
If we ever leave Spotify, it's gonna be like nonsense. But
this is already nonsense.
But
Did you watch last week's episode? It was insane. Like
the Canada one,
yeah, like
it seemed really popular.
It was all over the map. Steve.
The view count, I don't feel like reflects as like, but I feel like the comments were a lot of people commented that I've never seen comment before.
Canadians.
Yeah,
they showed up. The Canadians showed up.
I told you we have like a solid like 5 to 10% of our listening audience is Canadian.
I know. We love our Canadian audience.
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
This ad.
It was sent to us by Dave Santander.
Sent by Dave Santander.
Go ahead and start reading it,
just sent
Steve.
him some pedals.
Oh, because he's a previous winner of the Adventurers Club. That's where we send $25 digital gift certificates or affordable pedals to whoever sends us the winning ad of the episode. We do 3 ads every episode. Maybe this one will be a winner.
Yep. This is a immaculate condition. This is a custom Squire Bullet Stratocaster hardtail, no whammy bar, made by Fender. It's a limited edition run, especially made for the National Rifle Association 2022 National Convention, a must for any NRA enthusiast, a genuine collector's item. It has a vinyl wrap replicating a wood plank body with 6 shooters and the word gunslinger as if it were burned into the guitar body. This is the only one that has been upgraded with a triple ply tortoise pickguard and modified with light gauge strings. The original came with a single ply white pickguard, original pickguard included, making this guitar one of a kind. The only one like it. This guitar ships in its original packaging and does not come with a gig bag. Or the original did not come with a case. Let's take a look.
Are we calling string gauge changes modifications now?
No, the pickguard is.
But the listing said it's been modified with light gauge strings.
Is there a price? Oh, there it is. $400. This is on, looks like, is this Sweetwater?
Oh yeah, it's on Gear Exchange. It's on Gear Exchange.
Gear Exchange.
Which is Sweetwater.
That's a wrap?
It's a vinyl wrap, which is like, how is this a collector's item if it's a piece of plastic that's wrapped around a Squire? Like is that wrap even officially done by Squire? Like, I kind of doubt it. Or maybe that's a program that they have. Is it they'll vinyl wrap guitars?
I mean, I would know. I would have to imagine that somebody bought, a whatever original color Squire Bullet this was and then sent it to somebody to get it wrapped.
Right, there's got to be some company out there making promotional materials and they're like, well, we can wrap a Squire for you, and we've got all these Squires. Okay,
I'm gonna say before this was available exclusively through NRAstore.com, so it's actually sold with the logo. But interestingly enough, that one did not have. They actually took off the Squire from the headstock on this
because it's not an official Squire product.
Because presumably, I wonder if they had it on there and then.
I mean, maybe it is.
Oh, somebody's gonna.
What are they gonna do, Steve?
Hold on. I'm trying to go to NRAstore.com because I want to see information about this.
Well, you just messed up your whole algorithm.
And no, it's not that. I cannot go on the website without entering my date of birth.
Oh, great.
Because you have to be over 18 years old.
That's against your rights,
in the state of California.
Steve, that's against your rights.
To access this website.
They're infringing on your rights right now, Steve, on the internet. You should be able to buy a gun at any age.
They have a Jasmine acoustic guitar, so for $300. Very fancy Jasmine guitar.
I mean, we could sit here and we could say all sorts of things.
The Squire's not on here anymore.
About
I just want to see that.
The NRA and gun lovers and stuff like that. For the record, like Steve and I I'd say that we are both firearm familiar. We have both used firearms.
That's fair.
I am not against the ownership of firearms. I would like to see, firearms better controlled, regulated in responsible ways, some responsible stuff going on. But I do enjoy shooting a pew-pew from time to time out into a hillside in the forest or something like that, like doing some target practice or going hunting or something like that. Like I've got an air rifle that I defend my garden with, so you're not going to get any hard opinions from us in that direction right now. But I will say that if any NRA fans are buying these guitars, these vinyl wrapped guitars, I have no respect for you whatsoever. Like, this is idiotic looking. This is trash.
The picture from the website,
it costs way too much money.
The picture from the website actually looks a lot different than the one from Sweetwater, which is interesting. Not just the pickguard. I will say, moving from a white pickguard.
What's different about it?
This looks more like,
I think it's just lighting, man.
You think it's just lighting?
Yeah, it looks like the same print.
No, it's definitely it's not like, I don't think it's one of a kind.
No.
But
it's a vinyl wrap. They printed it out and they heat shrinked it onto a guitar.
I know.
Like those little plastic things you put over Easter eggs and shrink them in water.
I don't do that.
I know that you don't do that, but the people in the audience have done it.
Here's what I'm going to say. Moving from the white pickguard to the tortoise is like a major aesthetic upgrade.
Yeah, totally.
It looks so much better with the tortoise. That being said, I noticed that this says a must for any NRA enthusiast. It does not say a must for any gun enthusiasts, because gun enthusiasts abhor the NRA for not being, because NRA enthusiasts aren't gun enthusiasts enough.
The NRA is too liberal is the problem.
Yeah,
they're all woke over there.
So this has a pair of
Association, National Rifle Association.
Yes.
That sounds.
It sounds a little communist.
It sounds association. I don't like that word. What are we associating with here? Like why do we need to organize around this? There shouldn't be any organization around firearms. Like, that's an infringement.
Gunslinger, of course, is a fun little tribute to the idea that
that you should throw your guns away.
Studio guitarists are often referred to as hired guns.
Take your guns and sling them. I think that is fun. Like, when I first saw this, because it's a photorealistic wrap, I was like, oh man, it's got all this NRA like branding on it, but like, I'm kind of interested in this piece of wood. And then I got a closer look. I was like, oh, this is a vinyl wrap, isn't it? Because if that was real, if that wood thing was real,
oh, it looks super cool.
This would look amazing. I'd be like, where did that body come from? I want to know where that body came from. I love this rustic wood thing. But the moment you see that it's a vinyl wrap, it just looks cheap.
I think the art portion of the art, so not the logos, the two logos on it, but the art portion of the art, I think looks pretty good. I think it's choice.
I think if it was actually branded into wood,
sure, yeah.
I think a lot of this art could be smaller to be more tasteful. Like, take away the gunslinger part, do that as an inlay on the fretboard. Okay,
that's cool.
We're upgrading the NRA strat now. So gunslinger as an inlay across the fretboard, real big. You don't have to go subtle with that one.
You got to go like full on 60s country star.
But then the crossed pistols, the crossed revolvers there, like laser etch those into like a 3-5 pick guard.
You don't want it. You don't want it on the body.
No, I want it kind of small there. Okay. And then NRA with that logo, neck plate. You just want the body plain. Or maybe you could put the crest, the circle NRA logo on the headstock in the bulb of the headstock.
That would be good.
Now you're putting the NRA real big on the neck plate, laser engraved in there.
Yeah.
And then of course you're gonna throw like the shotgun shell knobs on it. You know, like you've got to make it a little bit tacky.
So do you think you're saying like the front of the body though? You don't put anything on there.
No,
you just
because
it's
gonna be like you could either choose in between, you know, laser etching those revolvers crossed into the pickguard, or actually doing a real brand with those. Like if you can turn that into a real brand and actually like burn it into the wood, either right behind the bridge or in the armrest area, I think that would work, but it'd have to be smaller. You don't want to go full size like that. You like shrink it down a little bit.
Sure.
You know, I think there's ways to do this classy and to do it legit, where it's not just a plastic heat shrinked to a guitar.
I like those suggestions, Ryan, and I would just say that I think if this guitar had those appointments, that would make this guitar one that you can have when you pry it from my cold dead hands.
All right. This feels like a good ad. I don't think we have anything else to say about that. Yeah, there's a solid listing there.
I'm sure, you know, people will complain that we covered this, but that's okay.
You know what? That's what the comment section is for. Fight it out.
Yeah.
Fight about gun stuff in the comment section of our guitar video.
Or don't.
Please, we need the analytics. Come on, help us out. Fight.
If you've boosted our analytics, but you're still interested in supporting the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where you can help support these shenanigans like these folks have, upgrading to the $5 level. Thanks, Dave Lee. And then joining us, Kevin Lederer, Joel Sitka, Sarah Barrett, Jordan Galash, and Thomas Finn. Wow. Then at the $10 level, our inner circle level, which I need to, actually, before this episode airs, I'll push a fresh link to the inner circle onto Patreon, PC, and James Thompson. So thanks everyone. Of course, you know, supporting us through Patreon helps us keep the metaphorical lights on for the show,
and the literal
lights too.
Yeah,
like paying for various web hosting.
Steve, there's literal lights in here. These lights are not a metaphor.
Google Drive. I have probably legitimately. So this is for Patreon. I know everything's time consuming and I'm trying to not like get ahead of myself. But I do have like something like $160 of camera equipment to like drop that will get paid through the Patreon fund. But I'm waiting until I actually maybe have like a more than one live stream using it and maybe actually make one video in my office.
Right.
So I want to be able to justify it to myself, even though really just using it for the live stream should justify it to myself enough.
Steve, you're going to experiment. It's justified just to try it. Like if you end up deciding you're not going to use any of this equipment, you just bring it over here and I'll use it for something.
I haven't started trying to film anything yet because I want to get through my editing first.
Of course.
We have a new sponsor this week.
We sure do, Steve. I was messing around with their services today.
Yeah, our new sponsor is TrueFire. TrueFire is an educational. They do educational collaborations. I'm trying to read this. This is new. With over 600 top artists, they have over 50,000 interactive videos. Over 30,000 tabs and 20,000 jam tracks. I have heard before that they are just like one of the best. Not just guitar videos. They have guitar. They have all kinds of instruments, guitar, drum, all kinds of different styles, banjo.
Well, you know what I was doing?
But you've been doing what?
Yeah. What I was doing today is I jumped right into beginner's bass lessons. Like I own a bass. I've done some fiddling around with bass, not bassing around with fiddling around with bass is what I've been doing. I decided I want to start from square one because I've always done the thing like a guitarist picking up a bass and just trying to figure it out. I want to see what a bassist instructor would tell me to do from the very beginning. And 40 minutes into it today, I'm already, experimenting with triplets and stuff like that. So I'm learning stuff already 40 minutes into it. Like the website was easy to navigate and to find my way around. And, it's one of those formats where there's a video of the guy playing and then tabs scrolling underneath. And it's really easy. And I'm learning stuff. I'm having a great time. If you've been curious about them, we've got a link down below. It is an affiliate link, just in case you're curious. And go check them out. see what it's all about. Yeah. To give him a thanks for supporting the show that you love.
Do you know who's your bass instructor?
Ooh, I don't have his name remembered, but it is the guy, and he does have a gray goatee, and he has a green bass with like lowrider airbrushing on it.
Oh, interesting. Because I know
I'll put up a screenshot.
I know, because I was looking through some of it, and like some of those bass lessons are like Stu Ham, like they're serious, like epic bass players. Anyway,
but that's one of those moments where it's like, I don't know your name, but I know the year and model of the guitar that you play. I'll never forget his bass. I don't know his name though.
This next ad was sent by Matt Carnavale. It says, used but in great condition. Everything works and sounds good. Comes with tremolo. Has a Floyd Rose. Super rare design. Any question, let us know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why? What does it mean?
Dime DNA.
DNA Bag Daryl? Is that what we're doing?
Is that what it was? Is that the original wrap on this? This is $1,800.
By the way, we're doing a theme this episode. It is photo finish. Every ad in this episode has a photo finish. This has more of like, I mean, it's printed like a photo, but it's a graphic. It's a design on here. It's interesting because it's all these DNA helixes. Mm-hmm. And it's in the, the red, white, and blue theme of, what he would normally go for. And I'm wondering, like, why? Is there a connection here? I don't know enough about Dimebag or Pantera. I don't care. So, like, I know I'm asking why. You guys are going to tell me in the comment section. I don't actually care. I'm just scratching my head right now, like, trying to, like, figure out why there's a DNA theme.
I don't know
to one of his guitars. This is the Razorback, right?
Yeah, I don't know if this is the original one, if there was more than one, but there was one of these on Reverb in 6 years ago. It does not have a picture of the back of the headstock, unfortunately, so I can't check the serials. But there was one of these on Reverb 6 years ago for $420. I'm wondering if this is the same one, like were these never put into production?
How would we figure out if it's the same one? Let's figure out. It's like some wood. Show me some wood grain that you've got on that one.
Oh yeah. Let me show you some wood grain.
No, like find some wood grain on the fretboard, and we'll see if we can match it up. Because you're on the Reverb
I don't think
listing,
there's
right?
ever a close up of the. I mean, it just looks dirty.
Hand that to me, Steve. I'll decode this. It does look pretty dirty. I don't think it's the same guitar.
You don't think it's the same one? You think there's more than one of these?
Yeah, I think there's definitely more than one of these cheap photo finished looking guitars.
This one says it's like an artist concept one too, which I don't understand what that means. It talks about how it came out.
That it's a concept around the artist. Like it doesn't. Don't get too hung up on that. No,
they say it's an artist proof that it's never been played. But I don't really know what it means.
So maybe Dimebag was like, hey, I want to see this with some DNA all over it. And what he meant was blood or jizz or something.
Nice, man.
And they're like, oh, Dime wants DNA on his guitar. And then they printed this up. And he was like, no, not that. That's not what I wanted.
Ryan, did you know that Dimebag Daryl is associated with the Razor Blade because that's how much he loved Judas Priest? It's a reference to a Judas Priest album.
Sure.
Yeah. Fun fact.
That's fact. I'm having so much fun right now with that fact, Steve. I'm regretting picking this ad now because I don't care about Dimebag at all. I care about him so little that it's frustrating me to realize that we're about to get deluged in comments from people who care about Dimebag so much. Okay, Ryan,
I have a question for you.
You care about him so much that you just need to vomit out information about him, and I don't need
Ryan,
it in my life.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask me, Steve.
Do you think? Like, how familiar are you with Dimebag Daryl's music?
I mean, I saw Nita Strauss play a cover.
That's true.
Of Walk. One time.
Is that a Pantera song? How much Pantera have you listened to?
That.
Don't you?
That was the Pantera that I listened to.
Don't you think it's unfair of you to judge a guitarist and his merit and like the merit of a guitarist as a player and their contribution to the art without doing a deeper dive into their music?
No. I mean, maybe it is unfair, but I don't care. Like, I don't, it's not that I don't like them. It's just like violently do not care. Like, it's like
you you would rather fight someone than listen to Pantera.
There's a lot of things I'd rather do. I have heard Dimebag's playing. I have heard clips of him playing. I have heard Pantera songs. Obviously, I'm a middle-aged man who was a teen in the 90s. You couldn't escape it. Like I've read, you know, all sorts of guitar magazines that had him on the cover. I don't care. I don't care. He's not interesting to me. His music is not interesting to me. His guitars are not interesting to me, and I regret picking this ad.
I think you need to listen to more Dimebag Darrell before you decide that his music's not interesting.
Who should buy this guitar, Steve, for $17.99?
So that's what I'm trying to look up. Is I feel like $17.99 is like way too high, but it's got to be a ridiculous price.
But
you know, without seeing like, I mean, I guess it has Grovers on it, but there's not like, this is an import.
You don't come up with an $1,800 guitar because of the tuners.
No, I'm trying to figure out like, is this all like, is this American made based on the hardware?
It all looks like
kind of a thing. It
doesn't look fancy to me.
No.
It's a dumb looking like printed finish.
Right, and it's got a Floyd Rose. That's worth $1,500 right there.
None of this. The pickups are unmarked and they look unremarkable. The fretboard looks dry. Like every bit of this is uninspiring and uninteresting to me. And it's tacky looking. You're a scientist, Steve.
Here's what I think.
Is the DNA theme interesting to you at all? Like, do you think any of your fellow scientists, any of your fellow lab rats would be interested in this?
I think a DNA theme could be interesting. I don't think this DNA theme is interesting.
What would be an interesting DNA themed guitar for you and your lab buddies?
I think it'd have to be like a lot simpler. I think it would have to be kind of subtle.
Maybe because like when you get like a DNA visualized.
Oh my God, Ryan!
It's like the lines and dots, right? So you could do that on like a fretboard, like do a DNA sequence across a fretboard.
Oh, dude!
Or a DNA strand, the helix going down the fretboard. This is the second time I've pitched a full fretboard inlay,
dude. No. Okay, I'm wrong. I thought like, man, maybe there's an obvious connection here because I know the man's name is Daryl Abbott, but his middle name was Lance. I was going to be like, if his name's freaking Daryl Nicholas Abbott, the comment section is just going to be like, what the hell's DNA about? And they're going to be like, don't you know that those are his initials?
That's his initials, idiot? Bro.
But it's not. His middle name apparently is Lance. Not starting with an N. So we're in the clear.
The connection,
we are in the clear.
The connection is that Dimebag had DNA.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good. That's a really good point.
Yeah, he had DNA. So the obviously his guitar had to have DNA on it. When he found out that he had DNA, he went straight to Dean. He's like, I've got DNA in me. I want DNA represented on my guitar.
DNA. It's Dyna. Wait, what? That's a different.
I bet you there's a cover out there of someone singing about DNA over TNT.
That would be really good.
Some sort of like a science-based a cappella group or something like that.
Did you totally off this, but now onto that subject. Were you on the photo shoot where Thermo was supposed to do a cover of YMCA? But I heard about it. So they couldn't secure the rights from the Village People or something to spoof YMCA.
There was another one that they wanted to do, and then they had to scrap it, and like I forget what song it was. So when I do commercial video with a local buddy, he's got Thermo Fisher as a client.
Yeah,
and so Steve is in the biomed world, and so he gets to hear about our stories about working with Thermo.
That was a really actually
they're a huge company.
I also heard about that story because our other buddy Sam wrote that song.
Yeah, but that one wasn't YMCA. It was something else.
No, it was like what they had to shift.
It was like they were trying to do Eye of the Tiger or something like that.
Oh, maybe that's the one.
Yeah.
It was the Eye
but
of the Tiger thing.
There was a YMCA.
So maybe they did do that. Maybe the YMCA one is the one that they did do?
No, they haven't done any of it because every single time, the lawyers come in and be like, "Oh, we can't actually do that. Fun idea, guys, but we can't actually do that. You got to come up with an original tune."
I might be thinking of another company that went ahead and did it, but that wasn't Thermo.
I have the Dimebag fans can tell us whether or not this is worth $1,800. I'm gonna say I don't think it is. If I was gonna buy a Dimebag guitar, it wouldn't be a Razorback.
You'd get the ML. I think
the ML is like their normal star design, right? Yeah, and it wouldn't obviously it wouldn't have a Confederate flag on it or whatever.
It'd have DNA.
It'd have DNA all over. No, I'd go for a solid colors or the lightning bolt one. I could see myself ironically playing a Dimebag lightning bolt guitar. Yeah. Nope, that purple lightning. My favorite Hot Wheels car when I was a kid had that purple lightning motif on it. So yeah, sign me up for that. But I don't get whatever this is. How many people are going to piss off this episode?
All of them.
Yeah, we pissed off NRA people. We pissed off anti-NRA people. We pissed off Dimebag people. What's next? Could there possibly be an artist with a fan base that would get even more pissed off at us?
That's not till next week.
No idea. No, it's this episode too. Foreshadowing. Okay.
Oh,
what's next, Steve?
I know what you're gonna do. Yeah. That's actually okay. Cool.
What's new?
What's new, right?
We got a package in. Steve, you got one of these for your very own.
Yeah, I bought it.
You bought it? I didn't buy mine. I just waited for Haley to send it to me. Where's my scissors?
Oh, you don't want the I want the. Oh, you got scissors.
I'll use this. This will be faster.
The leather man, the leather person.
No, it's a man. I checked. I checked his gender.
You checked the gender.
Yeah.
You checked their.
It actually says Leatherman on it, and who am I to disagree with how
it's fair.
It wants to be
it's
known?
Fair. Good call. This is fun.
We're having a good time here. So I was there in the room, and I actually contributed a little bit.
Oh, cool.
To the conceptualization of this. It was me and Haley and Philip Carter, and maybe Jason was there. I think Jason was there. But Haley had these, she has her little 3D printed, these little pedal toppers and stuff like that that look like pedals. And she had printed out the rubber pad from a Boss pedal sort of idea. And I was like, hey, that kind of looks like a little pedal board. And then I started putting her little pedals on it, and she was like, it is a little pedal board. And so then she went right home. This was at NAMM, by the way. So 3 weeks ago.
Oh, you got the purple one.
Oh, there it is. She went home and started making pedal boards for her little pedals.
It comes with a big strip of black Velcro for the top of the board and a bunch of little tiny Velcros for these pedals. Oh, your wah fell apart.
I bet it goes back together. There's a little wah pedal here. Yeah, there we go. And then there's a DS1 and a pink pedal and a big muff. It's a little baby big muff.
And a couple fuzz faces.
You got a green fuzz face and a purple fuzz face. Where's that blue? It's purple. It's violet.
It's purple.
Yeah. But yeah, this is I'll put this all together, and I'll make a little pedal board, and I'll do a little photo shoot with it and put it on social media. But thank you, Haley. It's so fun to watch her work and just knock out ideas on the fly. It's just this silly little miniature pedal board concept. It's just so much fun. So go check out Rockit Music Gear. They're fans of ours. We're fans of them. They're friends of ours, and we're friends of them. So that's what's new, Steve.
Yeah, my what's new is on Tuesday, Get Offset put out a really fun video. I think we've talked about a little bit, I think, on our show as a concept, but it is basically what guitarists deserve, what current guitar should have signature gear is the topic that she put together. And that one was a lot of fun. And then somebody posted about it in Pedal Boards of Doom. I don't know if she posted, I don't know how the video got into Pedal Boards of Doom, but somebody posted on it because one of the artists, she said, I think that her name's Alicia or Alice or Allison, or I should just look it up because I sound like a moron. That is wrong. That says Stuart Copeland is in the band Bully, and I don't think that can be correct. Alicia Bognano is her name. Stuart Copeland was in Bully, but Alicia Bognano.
He's going to get to the point eventually.
So Emily says like, oh, she should have a signature guitar. And somebody in Pedal Boards of Doom, so she has like a Squier 51 that's been heavily modified.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in Pedal Boards of Doom was like, my store is where she got that guitar or customized that guitar for her or whatever. And we are currently in talks.
Wow.
To get an artist, like a production version of her guitar, something like that. So I think that's really cool.
That is really cool.
I'm going to put a link to this video in the chat because I think a lot of the artists that she named, I think there's only 5. One of them is, this company does not do a lot of artist deals, but it's a GNL Fallout from the GNL Tribute Series for Liz Stokes from the Beths. And I think if they made that guitar, I would just buy it.
The GNL Fallout is just such a solid guitar anyways. Like it's just such a budget friendly, like, but rock solid machine. Yeah. Like I'm a fan of those Fallouts. I think they're so cool.
And I think they would, if one of the things that Emily talks about in the video is how a lot of these artists are playing like Squier, or they're playing GNL Tribute. They're basically playing these budget lines, which already makes it like kind of extra fun.
Right.
Like these artists, if they had a signature model, it would have to be
kind of
a budget
affordable
line for it to be really like authentic.
Look at that, Steve. While you were talking about that, I made the pedal board.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah, everyone go watch that video. Emily's been starting to like knock it out of the park with like all her videos.
She's been doing these getting
good views,
going to like the video essay format, and they're all really good.
Really finding her own momentum, and I'm happy for her. I'm stoked for her. So good job, Emily. Everyone go subscribe to Get Offset right now. Everyone go do it right now. I know this video is going to get like 3,000 or 4,000 views at least.
Mm.
And I know, a good percentage of you aren't going to make it to the 32-minute mark. But I want to see just how many of you are here right now. Go to Get Offset and subscribe. Do it. What are you waiting? Just go do it right now.
This video.
Pause this video and go do it.
This video is probably going to premiere at like 11 o'clock. Oh, I guess we have to wait a few days for it to like hit max. So I was going to say this is going to premiere on Monday at 11. At the end of this week, if I don't forget, I'm going to forget. But if I don't forget, I'm going to hit up Emily and say, how many subscribers did you get this week? And if it doesn't go up significantly, I'm going to be very disappointed.
We're going to be embarrassed.
In all of you.
We're going to be embarrassed of ourselves.
I expect to be embarrassed because I feel like click-through tends to like...
It's really hard.
It's
really hard to motivate people to actually do things with videos.
Which is
people never actually do.
Which honestly is kind of an embarrassing thing to say right before we talk about string joy.
Hold on there a minute, Steve. You grabbed a pack of strings. Look at how many packs of strings we have here. If you're wondering if I like these strings or not, here's your answer. I've got 8 packs of the Orbiters here. This is the string that I've been putting on pretty much everything. It is a coated set. Coated with what, you ask? Coated with human baby teeth dust. That's right. They are enamel coated.
That's right.
Just like your human teeth. Remember
String
your teeth
Joy
when you were a
Orbiters
baby?
Feature a special enamel coated nickel-plated steel wrap wire that delivers crisp top, and only the Orbiters have this. If you go to their website and you try to get like Broadways or signatures, they're not going to have that enamel coating. Only the Orbiters will have that enamel coating.
Have the enamel coating. They feel nice and slick like your teeth, and they've got extra bite.
This episode's also brought to you by Chase Bliss. Ryan's got a mood.
I finally featured the mood in a video last week, and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. I had a great time. I didn't do a full demo of it. I just used it, and I think that's enough to show off why you need a mood in your life. It listens to you all the time. When you're playing, it's always listening to you. And if you play something where you're like, whoa, hold on, that was great. You hit that button real quick and it starts playing a little clip of what you just played. And now you can tweak it. Now you can change the speed, you can change the fidelity, you can do all sorts of stuff to mess with it and build this little granular galloping or like vibing sort of thing that you can jam over or play with or modify. And like, it's just a fun experimental box to make nonsense noises with or to make beautiful music with. This thing sounded so great in the video that I legitimately got an offer to join like an improvisational like jazz noise band. I got a message from someone like, hey, join my Sun Ra style like noise band that I'm putting together. And I might sit in on one of their gigs or something because it does sound like a lot of fun. But this was like the backbone of me having fun in that direction. So go check out Chase Bliss. They also just came out with a new version of the Condor.
Oh, that's right.
I own an original version of the Condor, and I'm wondering if I should spend the $50 to send it in to get the new board put in.
I feel like you should. Well, did you listen to the demos?
I haven't yet.
Go check out the demos.
But I know it's higher fidelity.
It's higher fidelity, so it's got more headroom. So if you use yours for like weird grindy stuff, the hi-fi does like less of that.
Oh, okay.
So it's like,
I like to use it as like a build-a-wah.
But if you're using it like that, then the hi-fi might be better.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. But here's the problem though. And this is so stupid. This is so silly.
Mm-hmm.
I love the new art. The old art is fine. It's just, it was a little stock imagey, but the new art is really, really clean. Should I just buy a new one and sold like the old? And it's like, do I spend $50 or do I spend $350? You know?
Patreon.
I'm not going to use Patreon money to buy a Chaseless pedal for myself that I already own, Steve.
As long as you make a demo of it, it's fine.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The Condor is a really fun pedal. Go watch demos on it. It's an EQ. It's a preamp. It's an overdrive. It's a distortion. It's a wah. It's a lot of things. And of course, it's probably a chorus pedal too, because all Chaseless pedals are choruses in one way or another. All right,
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
How do we want to hit this topic?
Ooh, what's the deal with Epiphone, guys? Epiphone seems like they keep getting more and more expensive. Every new release feels like it's pushing the limits. And I don't feel like I really noticed this until this last year when we were at Sweetwater for GearFest.
Mm-hmm.
They had that Crestwood that I absolutely fell in love with.
Yeah.
And I still think about it like many times a week. We're like, man, I wish I had that Crestwood. But it's $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love it, but I could have a lot of fun for $1,000. Like if it was like $750, I feel like I'd be much closer to the edge of thinking about it. But they just came out with Firebirds that are getting dangerously close to $2,000.
Right.
And they've had Epiphone has other guitars. They have USA made Epiphones that are like $4,000 and $3,000. They've got acoustics and they've got what are they? Dots.
Are they Dots?
No, casinos. They've got casinos.
Oh, casinos, yeah.
That are
those are all like American made.
Those are the USA made ones. But these Firebirds, they're import. Mm-hmm. And they're like $1,800, $1,700, something like that.
$16.99. But yeah. Epiphone Casino $3,500. Epiphone Frontier $4,500.
And like the vast majority of their stuff is still sub $1,000. Like they have plenty of Epiphone Les Pauls and SGs and all sorts of other things that are sub $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really interesting to see them beginning to push Epiphone as its own premium brand, even the import stuff.
Right.
Which is something that like my heart has wanted for a long time because Epiphone existed before Gibson owned them. Mm-hmm. And they were a legitimate brand that made really, really cool stuff. And it's warming my heart to see them using the brand to make some higher end stuff, to make some high quality stuff. Right. But it's also distressing me to see cool Epiphone stuff pop up and realize like, oh, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I can't. What is that? And I think maybe that's the core of the issue, where I'm seeing a lot of other people react poorly to expensive Epiphones. The realization that we can't afford Epiphone anymore. Thanks, Obama.
So here's,
but like, what does that mean for us as a society, as a guitar world? You know, we all live in this guitar planet.
We all live in a society. I think there's a few different ways to think about this. I think people see these new models. You're talking about this model is actually the Epiphone. They call it the Epiphone 1963 Firebird V. I don't know why it's a V if it's
a 5.
Like oh, it's a. I'm just kidding.
It's a 5-string.
It's definitely not a 5-string. Does it say where? I mean, presumably these are made in China, right?
Or Indonesia, or Korea, or like I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
I haven't checked.
I don't know if it says.
Someone in the audience will know, and they'll comment, and there will be 5 comments from people telling us exactly where they're made and their opinions on where it's made.
So I have like I have a few different takes, all of which I think are like, first of all, people are really stressed out about this. They were stressed out about that $1,000 Epiphone. They're stressed out about Greenie Les Paul being like 1,500.
The Greenie one I get, like the signature models I get, like I understand that because they have to take a cut off the top and they have to give it to the artist. And also it's a very specific thing, whereas probably the numbers aren't as big. They're not making them in mass the same way as a normal production model. They're like, okay, we're going to run this signature guitar for a year, versus like, oh, we're going to just crank out a ton of Les Pauls in 5 finishes and just fill storefronts with them for 3 years, you know?
Sure.
So I get those price differences, but what were you going to say? I interrupted you and then ran out of steam.
I was going to say something maybe crass in response to you saying that they have to pay an artist cut on the Greenie. They probably do.
Right.
And also we'll just leave it at that. So
there is
an artist cut element to it.
They're not just signing over like, yeah, use my name and copy my guitar for free just because I'm a nice guy. No, there's deals going on.
The comment that I was going to make is that Peter Green's dead.
Oh.
But I mean, to that, like, I'm sure his estate is still, involved in this, or Kirk Hammett is involved in this, one or the other.
Because Wouldn't they both be?
Or maybe they both. Well, Kirk Hammett's certainly involved from like the scanning the original guitar, right?
Right.
Whether it's the Peter Greenie Les Paul or these, I will say that they all have like high end, not just for Epiphone, just straight up high end components, like components that you would expect on an American made guitar. They are being made overseas. I think a Firebird, like the correct me if you know better, but I think they're harder to build. Like they're like a weird build.
It's a weird build. It's a
neck through. It's a neck through, right?
It's a neck through, and it has that raised section in the middle. It's a big body. It has totally different tuners. It's got those banjo style tuners. It has the vibrola trim on it, but also they were putting those vibrola trims on SGs that weren't over $1,000. Remember they came out with those like 3 years ago or something like that. The last time Gibson was at NAMM, basically they came out with those, and they had the vibrolas on SGs.
Are they the Maestro, the full Maestros?
Yeah, the Maestro vibrolas. Okay. Yeah.
Which
are cool trims. I wish I owned a guitar that had one of those on it. I'm not going to pay $1,700 for it though.
So I think that there's, again, like kind of different interesting things. One, this is a premium Firebird. It's not just an Epiphone Firebird. Epiphone makes a Firebird that's under $700.
What are the stats on it? Is it like,
it does not have a vibrola?
Does it have a stop tail?
It's just got a stop tail.
Wrap around or
it's a 2-piece.
Okay. What pickups does it have in it?
It has whatever the Epiphone. So these have.
But does it have mini buckers?
Yes.
It has Firebird pickups.
But these have Gibson USA Firebird mini humbuckers. Okay. The other one is.
And we all know that Gibson pickups are worth $1,000 a pair.
Exactly.
So this is a steal. You're paying $700 for the guitar and $1,000 for the pickups. You know,
the standard model is listed as, where is it? Epiphone Pro Bucker FB 720. So it is, but it is like a.
Show me the picture of it.
It is a mini humbucker.
Okay, all right.
But it's like maybe it's not. You know,
that is less exciting to me because it doesn't have the vibrola.
Sure.
I will admit.
No, but like if you want a vibrola, you just pay somebody $300 or whatever to install one, and you're still under $1,000.
I bet I could do it. Well, but the thing is that you're going to be doing it over the bridge posts and stuff like that. Right. You know, like it's not going to be pretty. But it would work. You could do it. Or I could just put a Vibromate on there and go big speed, which I'd probably enjoy more. Or I could put one of the Goldo trims on there, one of the less trims on it. It would be way more functional actually. You know. But it wouldn't have that vintage charm to it.
So there is that, and I think maybe one of the stress points for the guitar consumption community who
guitar consumers, yeah. Those of us that consume and digest guitars,
who look at this and see like, oh wow, there's a cool thing, and Epiphone was the affordable brand from when I was a kid, and now this isn't affordable.
Right. Well, I think people think like $1,700. Why isn't it a Gibson?
Perhaps a fair. I mean,
why is it an Epiphone? Like I'm paying almost $2,000. I'm paying almost a mortgage payment on this guitar, and it's not a Gibson.
I mean, that is a legitimate question.
I thought only a Gibson was good enough. How am I supposed to feel good about this purchase if it's an Epiphone? Epiphones aren't good enough. Only Gibson's good enough.
Only Gibson's good enough. That is a
feel authentic.
An interesting question with the Greenie, because I think the Greenie is like $200 cheaper.
Yeah,
which is really tight at that point. It's like $200 cheaper than a Les Paul Studio.
Right.
Maybe $100 cheaper than a Les Paul Studio.
So do you think that this is the same body as the $700 one? But
no.
They've done some cosmetic upgrades to it?
Actually, here's what I'll say. I'll say that it's not specified. And I find that a little troubling. I wish they would specify better. For example,
please specify at all.
So for example, on the 1963, the neck is listed as 9-piece mahogany walnut. On the $650 one, it lists the neck as just mahogany/walnut. So it is like multi-piece, but it's not telling you how many. So
the neck is 9-piece?
So on the reissue, the
$1,700
is a 9-piece neck.
Is that because it's neck through and it's connected to the body, and they're counting the whole body as the neck?
No, that's just, even the other one is neck through.
How do they get 9 pieces into a neck?
It's like sandwiched. It's like alembic necks.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So it's multiple pieces.
And is that a selling point?
It's a vintage correct thing, I think.
All right, okay. Shows what I know about. I'm not a Gibson fanboy. I'm not a big lover of Gibsons. I think they're fine. I think Gibsons absolutely deserve their place in the history of electric guitar, obviously. But I'm not someone who nerds out over them.
So this is the $650 one.
Oh, so it has skunk striping through the middle. Yeah. Not skunk striping, but it has like a,
It's sandwiched.
It's sandwiched. For like a racing stripe down the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like that, but that's supposed to, I think it's supposed to help with the stability and whatever.
It has a stringer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
like a surfboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, like the 651 is using Epiphone Locktone Tune-O-Matic and Epiphone Locktone Stop Bar, whatever. I don't know what those things are that sound like stock Epiphone parts. The hardware on the 1700 one is an ABR bridge. So that's the same bridge you're going to find on like a Gibson version.
Yeah.
It's using Kluson banjo style planetary tuners.
I'm sure. Here's the thing.
Premium tuners, Ryan. When you buy a $1,700 guitar, you're going to want those premium tuners.
I actually don't think it's that crazy to have an import guitar be $1,700. We live at a time where there's amazing guitars being made. Look at a Reverend is like the classic example.
Sure.
Like they're making $1,500 guitars that are Korean import guitars. They're great. The quality is there. They're doing setups in the US before they ship them out, sort of thing. They're making sure that these guitars play great when they get in people's hands. And there's a lot, there's a lot more consumers who are a lot more open to higher quality import guitars from major brands now.
Yeah.
The reason this feels funny is because it is still being relegated to the Epiphone brand, where there is so much history, like modern history, of people experiencing Epiphone as a budget brand, as a compromised brand. And I think it's gonna be a long road. It feels like Gibson is gonna hunker down on this and keep pushing into it, but it's gonna be a long road of convincing people that Epiphones are worth crawling into $2,000, because that is like, if these sell, I think we're going to keep seeing them push harder and harder. I think we're going to see $2,000 import Epiphones fairly soon. That's my prediction, anyways.
I would not be surprised. So here's the thing that I think is kind of maybe my last thought on it. Is because these models are coming out, because everyone's predicting that Dave Grohl's going to be $1,400, $1,500, $1,600. Pretty much all of their signature guitars now, I think, are $1,200 or more, right? There's an assumption, because these are the things that you're hearing about, or things like this Firebird that's a premium weird build. It's not a Les Paul, it's not an SG. It's for Epiphone. It's weird, or weirder. There's an assumption that the center point of the pricing on Epiphones is shifting upwards.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an impression. What I would put out there is that it's not.
Okay.
That maybe like by mean average it is slightly, maybe more so. It's being weighted. But if you look at like the median price point of Epiphones, I don't know that it's actually changed significantly, because you can still get a Les Paul custom for $800 from Epiphone. Yeah. Now that's a lot of money compared to like 2005, when you could get an Epiphone Les Paul custom for probably $650. Like, I'm not saying the prices haven't increased at all. I'm saying that Epiphone's done this thing where they've actually stretched out what the price range of an Epiphone is, where now it goes from like $160 up to $1,700, which is kind of wild.
It is.
Whereas Squire is still like, I think Squire's most expensive guitar was it $600 so far? Like, I don't think Squire's come anywhere close to $1,000.
Yeah, I think they're all sub 1,000.
Yeah.
I can't think of any Squires. I think there's something rattling around in my head. Like, there is a Squire that punches higher than people expect, but I think they're all under $1,000.
Let's see. What's the highest price Squire on Sweetwater? I can look. $500 for the J Mascis.
That's the most expensive
That's
one?
the most expensive Squire at Sweetwater right now.
And here's the,
no, I'm not. No,
people expect Squire and Epiphone to be analogs for each other.
And they're not.
They're not. They're different brands.
And they kind of never have truly been, but they've been closer.
Here's I'm going to say what I wish. Here's my wish.
Tell me your wish.
I'm fine with Gibson pushing Epiphone into being a more premium brand, even their import builds. But what I want to see is Gibson just take the Firebirds, the Les Pauls, the SGs, the Flying Vs, etc. Take the Gibson models and just brand them Gibson import, or like come up with a Gibson sub-brand name. Like, you bring back Orville. Orville by Gibson.
Right.
Like, these are import Gibsons. Return Epiphone to Epiphone models and have high-end Epiphone-specific models that are not redos of Gibson models. Return Epiphone to its historical lineage instead of making it the budget brand for Gibson. Return it to being a brand that has its own value, other than just being like, well, here's a Les Paul by a company that is licensed by Gibson. You know, like, I didn't say any of that right just now, but you know what I mean. Like, just do Epiphone. Like, cornets, Wilshires, etc., all their jazz boxes and stuff like that. Pull up the archives and then start making new guitars for Epiphone that are only for Epiphone. They're not for Gibson.
Right.
They're Epiphone guitars.
Do you think Epiphone could survive?
And they're never going to do that, like obviously, but that's my hope. That's my heart's desire.
Do you think Epiphone could survive a scenario? One, I don't know what you do with the signature models, or these more expensive things, like you said, like maybe you establish a weird.
You just move them over to the Gibson sub-brand.
Gibson sub-brand.
Yeah.
Years ago, Gibson tried to promote Maestro and Baldwin guitars in department stores. Do you think there would be value, or maybe phrase it a little differently? Do you think Epiphone could survive the scenario you're describing where, say, Epiphone goes to only making cornets, Wilshires, Casinos, Sheratons, all that stuff, right? So now in that scenario, say they don't have a guitar under 500, like their price range is now I probably guess $500 to $1,500.
Sure.
They have nothing but, so they're not really a true.
I'm saying like make it a price range that goes from like 800 to 25.
Right. So what I'm saying is, so I guess Epiphone, I would say Epiphone is like a pure Salem competitor now.
Right.
And then now your Maestro or your,
treat it like the quirky vintage brand.
Right.
Could be.
I feel like since they did these, I don't know where you put them, but the Maestro pedals, they could launch Maestro as a guitar brand alongside the pedals. And that's now your new Gibson
sub-brand.
Right.
And that's where you stick your SLs and things like that. But it's also where you stick, your import versions of all sorts of various historical Gibson models. To put Carina V's on there that are Maestro or Orville by Gibson, or like just come up with like the way PRS has SE, just put an indicator there to let people know like it's Gibson, but it's an import Gibson. And by the way, like, PRS has a $500 PRS now.
Yeah, it's a PRS SE.
I know, but still, like that's Gibson could be following that sort of example. Like, they can. Is that a spider in here?
Is it? Oh, it is.
What is it hanging from?
A web.
But it's like floating around.
A microphone?
I don't know.
Where's it going?
How's that even? Is it maybe it's a mosquito?
Oh,
okay. Jeez, that was freaking me out. This little spidery thing. It was some sort of little mosquito.
I didn't
or
even
something.
see it. Here's one thing I'll say. Yes, PRS SE. Sterling is another lower cost budget brand, and this is a video I watched the other day. The channel I've never seen before, but it was suggested to me, called Ministry of Guitar. It's a guy I think
a cult. Interesting.
Yeah, I think he's based in. Maybe based in Singapore. I'm not really sure. He said something about not being able to find Epiphones in Singapore. So I think either Singapore is the nearest big city to him that had guitars, or I don't really know, because I only watched the one video. But I thought it was interesting because one of the things he talked about with the increasing price of Epiphone over the years is it sounds like maybe the 2023, 2024s are different, but he's still talking about buying 2022 and 2023 Epiphones and having the same problems with those guitars that we complained about Epiphone when we started the show 10 years ago.
Interesting.
The three-way switches are still trash. A lot of people in his comments said that they had bought brand new Epiphones that already had scratchy pots. A lot of these same electronics issues that have persisted. They've also talked about the frets not being shiny out of the box. Like,
you can't have that on guitars that are above $1,000.
Yeah, and what I mean by shiny is how sometimes especially if you're
I know what a dull fret looks like.
If you're like a bendy player and the fret's dull, like when you go to bend it, it feels like you're bending kind of on sandpaper.
Yeah, it feels like your teeth are dirty.
Yeah, and so you need some string joys.
Yeah, they're coated with enamel.
With enamel.
Made from baby teeth.
But he was talking about a lot of those problems persisting on signature model Epiphones that are $1,200. And basically how according to him, again, I don't have a lot of experience with it. I'm just taking this video at face value, that the PRS SEs don't have that problem. A lot of these other budget brands don't have that problem because there's an attention to detail that has focused on those things.
Well, I think there's a certain element of...
I'll link that video down below.
Certain big brands know that they're coasting on their names.
Yeah.
And they don't have to deliver the QC that other brands know they have to deliver to compete with those names.
You think Gibson Epiphone is one of those?
I mean, PRS already takes their shit pretty serious.
I think
like, and I've never picked up an SE where it's like, oh, like I don't love PRSs. Like they're not my style guitar, but I've never picked up a PRS and been like, oh, there's issues here. They make sure their shit is tight. Like they just do.
I think,
and it's because, and maybe it's because of some sort of intrinsic like value that they have towards their own instruments and what they want to provide to their audience. Or maybe it's because like they know that they need to compete against the names Gibson and Fender. Like they need to compete against those names in the marketplace. And the way you compete when you don't have the two biggest names is you compete with quality.
Sure.
And so the reality is that we see a lot of brands that punch quality-wise above Epiphone, above Gibson, above Squier, above Fender, because they don't have the name to back them up, and so that they have to deliver quality, you know. And you know me, I love my Fenders, I love my Squiers, but there are a lot of brands out there that on paper are giving you technical specs that are far beyond what those brands offer.
Yeah. So this new model is the PRS SE CE24.
I want to check one out. I don't want to.
That is the bolt-on.
I don't want to order one. I don't want to own it, but I want to check it out. So I need to go to like a store or something.
I will just say that this model, and you mentioned that, and it reminded me of just overarch. I'm not saying that you and Blake pissed off Paul.
Paul loves us.
But the way that SE has been handled in the last like 7 or 8 years kind of makes me feel like, and again, just impression. I don't think this is true. It's just an interesting correlation.
Okay.
And if you understand the difference between correlation and causation, then this will make perfect sense to you. And if you don't, look it up. It feels like there is a correlation between you and Blake hammering Paul about PRS's reputation of being for blues doctors and rock doctors and blues lawyers, because I feel like in the last 7 or 8 years, SE has gone from like, oh yeah, it's PRS's budget line, to being like, no, if you are serious about guitar, you need to consider the PRS SE.
SEs are great.
And the launch that they did for the SE CE24 was so broad and with like so many channels that I think are doing really good work right now, that it just seemed like they recognize this as, this is the model, $500 that could like really put PRS on the map.
Sure.
PRS
is already on the map.
No, I'm saying like on the map is like
a budget
as
brand.
Not just like an alternative to Epiphone and Squier, but like kind of a big middle finger to Fender and Gibson.
Sure.
To being like, no, you need to take this serious. And I mean, the Silver Sky SE and all of the different SEs that they've done that are like under $1,000, I think we're already kind of sending that message. But to go all the way down to 500, which they used to do SEs like this cheap, but this is, I mean, people seem to really
post-inflation 500.
Yeah, like people seem like really hyped on this.
Like 500 now, like that's really, really cheap.
Yeah.
For an SE.
People are so hyped on this that it makes me feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I, think about PRS SE prices.
I mean, I want to check one out. Like I said, I just want to see what the quality points are. Like I keep hearing really good things about them though from people that I know and trust. So yeah, that's how I feel right now.
Ryan, this last ad.
Did we solve anything with that topic?
No.
I don't know, but we did. This is just a show where we hang out and talk as friends that like to talk about guitar stuff. So that's what you just witnessed.
This last ad was sent by Robert McDowell.
That's right.
It's in Coronado, California. Caught Taylor Swift's guitar pick at her Fearless tour in Los Angeles. Has been in storage ever since, ready to part ways with this historical and nostalgic moment, looking for a true Swiftie to sell this to. It is in Coronado, California, which is the right place to be if you're trying to sell a guitar pick for $1,000. Now,
my Zoomer sister.
Oh my God. There's a freaking MySpace on this.
My Zoomer sister is a huge Taylor Swift fan. She's a big old Swiftie. And I sent her this listing to get her bead on the situation.
Okay.
And I was not expecting her to go this direction. She said this is way overpriced. And I was like, do you understand that if this listing is correct, then it is played by Taylor Swift? There is a possibility that at one point this was in her mouth. You know how us guitarists are when we're using our hands, like pick goes in the mouth and we hold it in her mouth for a bit. And she was not swayed. She was like, I think max $100 on this. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know what this will sell for, but I was actually a little bit shocked that she went so low.
So the problem is that one, there's no provenance.
We don't know for sure. Like there's no picture of her throwing this into the crowd and the person grabbing it out of the air and saying, I caught it. I caught it. We can't know for sure.
So
there's no documentation.
It just doesn't, mean anything. You can buy these picks on eBay for as low as $17, including shipping.
But if there was provenance, if there was video and documentation of her pulling it out of her mouth, and I don't mean just like in between her teeth or in between her lips like this. I mean like all the way in her mouth, like she was swishing it around.
Gross.
If there was proof of that, and then of her flicking this dripping wet spit-covered pick into the audience, and someone grabbing it out of the air and saying, I caught it. It's got it's got her spit all over it. And then they lock it away in a plastic bag with her spit.
And then they cryogenically freeze it when they get home.
Yeah. Do you think that would be worth $1,000? There's potential to clone Taylor Swift with this pick is what I'm saying.
I mean, if you've got the potential to clone Taylor Swift.
Should Taylor Swift be cloned? Is that the clickbait? Should we clone Taylor Swift?
God, I can't.
All it takes to get a sample is $1,000.
Ryan.
Yeah.
This feels like misogyny.
Yeah, I feel a little stiff, but I don't think I need a massage.
Would you pay $1,000? I just can't with this. I'm not in the headspace to think about a scientific ownership of Taylor Swift.
So if we bought this pick and you were able to isolate her DNA the way the DNA is isolated on that Dimebag guitar, then would you, if you were able to sample some cells and begin the cloning process,
right?
Do you own that tissue, or does Taylor own the tissue?
I mean, that's
and when the
that's the $1,000 question.
When the clone is a complete human being, ready to breathe air the way the rest of us do,
right?
Ready to be cut from the synthetic umbilical. Is that Taylor Swift? Is it your child? Is it property?
It depends on whether or not that cloning process also imprints all of her memories.
It will not.
This is a Mahler twins. This is a Mahler twins question.
It will. There's only so much memory that can be imprinted in DNA, and there's like I've done a little studying on this. There is really only enough room in DNA to store about 15 to 18% of memories of breakups. So it wouldn't be a complete Taylor Swift clone. It wouldn't be able to write the same amount of songs, the same quality of songs, until it's achieved its own breakups to fill in the gaps. Steve has gone silent. I've broken Steve.
Honestly, I kind of zoned out there.
Steve blacked out because what I was saying was so stupid.
Because I was trying to figure out, I learned about this thing the other day. Actually, I learned about it mostly in the car this morning, taking my kid to school. And I want to know what our listeners would think, or whether or not they can imagine Ryan with a low taper fade. And I don't know if anyone's going to understand that reference, but I hope they do.
I don't know what that is. I don't know that reference.
That's all right.
A low taper fade.
Low taper fade.
Okay.
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
Adventurers Club.
How much would you pay for this pick, Steve? $12, like on eBay?
I mean, this isn't even from the era where I like any of her music.
My sister said that she would pay zero which surprised me. She would play 0.
Why would she? Did she say why?
Because she doesn't play guitar.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm like, is there really that low amount of collectability for this? I was a little bit shocked.
These things are all over eBay. Like I said, the most expensive or the cheapest one I saw was like $17. It sounds like you could just have like bought this from like merch.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or maybe she threw like,
or maybe she threw a bunch. Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe she blew them out of a leaf blower or something like that into the audience.
She had. Oh, you know do you know about you know about t-shirt guns, right?
Oh, I know.
Of course, you know about t-shirt.
I know
guns.
About t-shirt guns.
Everyone knows about t-shirt guns. What if you had a t-shirt gun and it shot out and you had a shirt in it, but it wasn't like, because they always rubber band those things up so they'll travel really far. But what if instead of rubber banding it up, you filled it with guitar picks? So when it launched out, it would just open and like parachute and just rain guitar picks.
You mean like those snakes that we opened 2 weeks ago?
Exactly like that.
All right, let's get back to the ABC Club, the Adventurers Club here.
I don't know what I'd pay for this.
Yeah, but which ad would you pick? Would you pick the NRA Squire, the Dimebag DNA, or the Taylor pick? It's a photo finish, Steve, here. We're talking photo finishes.
I think I'm going to go with the NRA.
Me too. NRA gets it. I hate to say it, but we're voting for the NRA this time. They got our vote. Congratulations, Dave Santander.
All right, this song was sent by Salvatore LoPiccolo. Says, you guys said you needed some songs to play at the end of the podcast. It's true. Send us your songs, 60cyclehumcast@gmail.com.
Of any quality. If it's high quality or if it's like just bedroom recordings, what we want, and everything in between.
Just attach it in a format that we can download.
Yep.
So I write and produce all my own stuff. The name of my band is The Happy Parade. The song title is Happy. My name is Sam LoPiccolo from Cleveland, Ohio. Thanks. Hope you like it. Here we go.
My hopes are high. This sounds like it's going to be upbeat.
Sounds like it's going to be happy.
Smile will send me over, and the sun
That's pretty much exactly what I was expecting it to be, just based on the words that you were saying leading up to playing it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
A ton of fun. I love it.
Thanks, Sam.
It sounds like someone with a real like composer's mind, the way the song like shifted and changed throughout. Like, I liked it a lot. Good job.
I'm trying to figure out the voice. The vocal made me think of someone specific.
Kind
of like a Michael Stipe kind of thing going on.
Yeah, kind almost. Of there was a bit of an Iggy Pop thing going throughout. You know, like there's some influences going on in there.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. Bye, everybody.
Stay grounded.